Hello besties, welcome back to today's class, and in today's class we will be learning how to make vanilla cake, and this is the butter based recipe. This recipe you're seeing, you can also multiply it by 2 so that it will give you 2 pans of 6 inches vanilla cake, but we're just getting 1 pan from this. So first of all I just needed to do was to measure out my ingredients. So this is my butter. The butter will be needing for this particular ingredient. So get your measuring scale and place your plate or just your measuring bowl on top of your measuring scale. Once you place it, make sure it's on 0, like it's on 0 before you start adding whatever you're adding. So we need 150 grams of butter. So can you see, I just added in the butter, and now this is time for me to measure out also my sugar. You can use granulated sugar you can use granulated sugar, you can use what's the name of that sugar? I've forgotten the name of that sugar. You can also use it. So yes, I've already measured that out, and now it's time for me to measure out my flour. I'll be measuring in my flour here and also put the scale back to 0 and measure in my baking powder. That's what I'll be doing, so please watch attentively because I want my dry ingredients such as baking powder and flour should be in one bowl. So this is my flour is already 150 grams, and this is me now putting in my baking powder and just my baking powder. So after putting in your baking powder, make sure it is at that particular measurement. This is actually 1.5 teaspoon, yes, of baking powder. So don't worry, the recipe will be at the description box. So this is my ingredients. Please, make sure you get your ingredients standby. Is very important. Keep your ingredients standby. So after that, it's now time for us to begin to make this delicious cake. Make this cake for your customers. They will come back times without number. So I just added in my sugar and also my butter, and it's time for us to cream. So keep on creaming until it turns pale white. Just once it turns pale white, it is okay, because if you over mix, you will notice that your cake will not come out nice. It might come out saggy. So once it turns pale white, or once your sugar has melted, your creaming, it's okay. So please don't over cream. Over creaming is one of the mistakes most beginners bakers make. Can you see? This is okay. It's now pale white. And then get your eggs. So begin to add your eggs one at a time. Add one at a time. When you add, you mix. Please besties, just do me a favor by not sharing this video. This is a paid class. I took out my time to teach this course. Even the value of this course is more than what I gave it out at. Do you understand? So please and please don't share this course. This, if you check very well, this video is on lock, like it is locked, so not everyone can gain access to it. So please just take note. You can just like the video, but please don't share it. Don't share the link to anyone that is not in this class. Thank you so much. So I just finished adding in my eggs and I had to mix everything. So after exhausting your egg, it's now time for us to add in our flour. Remember, our flour contains also baking powder. Do you understand? So now can you see, I'm no longer using my mixer to mix this cake. If you notice, I'm no longer using my mixer to mix everything. I just use my spatula. So just use your spatula and just fold. You fold in. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm folding in. I'm not turning. It's very important so that all those air bubbles you've created won't you won't flat it out again. Do you understand? So make sure you fold and fold until you don't see any flour particles in your mixing bowl. Then after that, I will now prepare my baking pan. And one thing about baking is that make sure that when you want to bake your cakes, especially red velvet cake or chocolate cake, always line your baking pan. Make sure you put baking paper. It's very important. Put it at the bottom of your cake pan and also at the sides. But this is vanilla cake. I didn't put the baking paper at the sides because it will still come out even without the baking powder. But please, even without the the baking paper, but please, if it is vanilla cake or red velvet cake, make sure you line your baking pan. Is very important. And I just added I just added in my batter into the cake pan, and it's time for us to bake. After baking, can you see I just finished baking the vanilla cake, and I had to run my knife through the sides of the cake. You understand? I had to run. That is the advantage of adding baking paper to the sides of your baking pan. It's also important, but if you did not add it, just run a knife through the sides of your cake before removing it, because if you try to force it out, your cake might break apart. Then place your cake board and now simply remove your cake. Can you see the advantage of this baking paper? Is so nice, like is so nice. And this is me turning up our cake, and our cake is